This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So yesterday in the last class, we have discussed about the performance testing. Sorry, I've been teaching performance testing, so that's what came to my mind. So we were talking about the bug tracking or defect. Okay, defects. Okay. So we have looked at the defect life cycle. We have raised the defect. We have understood two important things. One is the severity and priority. Right? All of you guys. Okay. So we have understood a lot of fields in the bug, but what is more important is the severity and then the priority. Okay. Okay. So tell me guys, what is severity and what is priority? Anybody? Hello, are you guys able to hear me? Anybody? Anybody from the class? Any idea about the severity or priority?
Priority means testers will do.
Okay, wonderful.
The most serious defects are which have to be solved first.
Okay, how severely it is affecting the application. Okay, how badly it is affecting the application, that is the severity. Priority is how fast the defect has to be fixed. Okay, how fast the defect has to be fixed. So how bad the defect is, something the tester will decide and tell you. Okay, so the seriousness of the defect, in other words, how serious, how bad, how badly it is affecting, how serious the defect is, this is something which is defined by the tester. And how fast this needs to be fixed. Okay, how fast this needs to be fixed, this is by the product manager or somebody, a client, or in general in my project I've told you the developer can, the dev lead also can decide the priority. Sometimes I used to decide the priority and his dev lead is okay, it's all okay. Else, the dev lead or somebody, a manager or somebody, a business analyst will be able to change the priority. Okay, when I've raised the defects yesterday, okay, one defect I've raised. Which tool I have used? The last class when I've raised the defect, which tool I have used? Come on, guys. You should be able to answer this. It's a very simple question. Where I have raised the defect, what I have used? If you remember, I've used the Excel sheet, right? Yeah, I've used the Excel sheet, and in the Excel sheet, I've raised the defect. Okay. Show some interest, guys. Show some interest. So bring the energy. Today is the last class, so I don't think there will be any more classes. So try to be active in the class. Okay, you see, I've used the Excel sheet to raise the defect. Okay, so this is where I have put the defects. Now you tell me what is the drawback, or what do you see the problem over here? Okay, so what do you see the problem over here? Steps to reproduce. Why this is like this? Okay, somehow the steps to reproduce, all the steps are gone. Okay, so what is the drawback over here? If I'm using this Excel sheet, what do you think will be the problem in the real-time project? Also, I'm using this Excel sheet, which I've used earlier, and trust me, I've used this Excel sheet to raise the defects in some of the projects. But what is the shortcomings of using this?
You have to share the Excel to this Excel to each and every tester
Every
and the
person.
developers.
Wonderful, Durgesh. That is so good. So now the developer, first the status is open. Okay, sorry, the status is new. Okay, now you have to share this with the developer. Developer will change this status to open and share it with everybody again. Okay, and then if two people wants to change something over here, then this Excel sheet become a mess up. And every time you change it, you have to change the version of it. Test cases version 1, version 2, version 3, you have to change. It is such a pain in the neck, guys, I'm telling you. Okay, so everybody will be changing it, and every time you change it, you have to share it with all the other people. okay, which is so much pain in the neck. Trust me. If there are 10 people involved, like there are 5 developers, 3 testers, or there are 5 testers, 5 developers, all the 10 people will be somehow changing something over here, and they will be whenever there is a change, they have to share the Excel sheet, and the developer, and we don't know which one is the latest version, which one is the old version. Such a mess it will be. Okay, it will be such a mess. Okay, trust me. So you don't want it to use something something like Excel, especially you have 7 to 8 people, where few of them are testers, few of them are developers, few of them are managers and all that. Na? So there is such a lot of coordination is required to understand which is the latest version, who changed what, and all that. Okay, suddenly I'm a tester, I'll come and change this to developer has changed it to open, but again yeah, again I'll change it to new. We don't know who has changed what. Okay, so then developer will come and say, I've already changed it to open, why this again which status is new. So we don't even know who is changing what in the Excel sheet. Okay, so this becomes very difficult. Okay, suddenly somebody will come and say closed. Okay, just mischievous, they will be playing around, or the defect is not actually closed, but they just change it as closed. Okay, we don't know who actually changed it as closed. Okay, so honestly speaking, once the defect is new, who should be moving this defect to open? Who is the person who will be moving this defect to open?
Tester.
The tester. Once okay, I'll open that document for you. Have I saved that? Hang on. I don't know if I have saved that defect life cycle or something like that. No, I don't think I have saved the defect life cycle. Okay, so you remember on the defect lifecycle, tester will first open the defect and he will mark as new. Then who will change it to open?
Developer.
Developer, sir.
Development lead or a developer or somebody who is heading the development team should be marking this defect as open. Okay, marking this defect as open. Once he changed the defect status to open, which means that the development team has accepted the defect, they will be working the defect. So the development team will change this to open and assign it to a particular developer. Okay, so only the development lead should have the access to change the status from new to open. Randomly, any person should not be able to change the status. Randomly, any person cannot change the status to open. Only the development team should have, developer or dev lead should be able to do it. So we need some sort of software which will give that kind of flexibility, wherein nobody else can change it, but only the dev lead can change this. And then it is assigned to Hussein. Only the Hussein can change this defect from open to fix. And not only that, once Hussein has changed it to fixed, everybody else, especially the tester, who is the tester here, Syed, should get an email saying that yes, the defect has been fixed, go ahead and retest it. Okay, so we need some sort of software or some sort of tool which should be able to do it. Don't you think so, guys? Don't you think so? It should restrict who should change the status, and also whenever the status is changed, the relevant people should get an email saying that okay, so and so defect is moved to fixed. Okay, don't you think so, guys? If there is a tool like that, which will be helpful. If you have a tool like that, it will be helpful. Yep.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So there are some tools which in the market which can do it. Okay, when I was doing it, okay, obviously ALM is the popular tool which can do it, which is, and by the way, these tools are called bug tracking tools. Bug tracking tools. Okay, what are these tools called? Bug tracking tools. Okay, so ALM is the very popular one. Okay, so last class we have seen Jira also can do it, guys. Can somebody confirm who has worked on Jira? I haven't worked on Jira. Using Jira, can we do the bug tracking? I used to use
Yes, sir.
Bugzilla. Okay,
As I heard,
somebody
Jira,
confirm Jira also.
HPALM can work as a ALM is right now it's become old, or Jira is a popular one.
Popular one. Okay,
As I
so
heard.
when I was working, I was using ALM. In one project I've used Bugzilla. I've used something called Rational something I've used. Okay, Bugzilla is more, I think, open source tool. Right now everybody is using Jira. Okay, so and other than this, there are n number of bug tracking tools. Okay, which can which can do it. Okay, PR tracker is there, and then issue tracker is there, and all that. Okay, so there are multiple tools which are in the market which can do it. Okay, so let me explain how this works, guys. Let me explain how this works. Okay, so let's say let's say okay let's say let's say this is my Jira or Bugzilla or something like that. Okay, let's say this is my Bugzilla. Okay, or Jira or any tool, any bug tracking tool. Okay, let me call this as a bug tracking tool. Okay, bug tracking tool. Okay, we have right now Jira, and we have Bugzilla or something like that. Let's say it is one of those bug tracking tool. Okay, so who has access to this bug tracking tool? Okay, all the testers. Let's say there are two testers, or let's say there are four testers. Okay, there are four testers, and for all these guys there is one test lead. For all these guys there is one test lead. Okay, one test lead is there, and let's say there are two developers are there. Okay, and for those guys there is a testing lead, and let's say there is a test manager is there. Test manager is there, and dev manager, or project manager or program manager. Okay, test manager, program manager. Okay, so who are these guys? Okay, this is the test analyst is what you can call him, or test engineer. The test engineer is the bottom most, then test analyst. So these are all test engineers. Okay, test engineers, these are all the test engineers. Okay, okay, test engineers, and we have a test lead. Okay, and we have the test manager as well. Okay, test manager. Okay, TM is there. Okay, all these people, 1 2 3 4 5 6 people have access to this bug tracking tool. Let's say it's Jira, they have access to it. They have a username, password. They will be able to log into this bug tracking tool. Okay, and then there is this developer. Okay, developer 1, developer 2. Okay, there are two developers, and this is the dev lead. Okay, so this is the dev lead, and then this is the dev manager. Okay, and this is overall program manager. Who is this? Program manager. Okay, program manager is the manager of everybody. Is the manager of test manager, manager of dev manager, manager of infrastructure manager, manager of everybody. For this project, he is the main guy. He is the main guy. Let's say all these people have access to this bug tracking tool. This guy has its own username, password. Okay, have its own username and password. Okay, so and everybody will have their own username, passwords, guys. Okay, everybody will have their own username, password. Let's say this is Syed. Syed will have its own username. Syed will have his own username, password. Okay, okay, password. And then let's say this is our Swati. Okay, Swati will have her own username, password. Okay, and everybody will be having their own username, password for this bug tracking tool. Let's say Jira. Now what Syed has done, he is testing some test cases, and the expected results is not equal to actual results. Then there is a defect. He will go to this bug tracking tool. He will enter this username, password. Then he will be able to open that, and somewhere over there is a button called new defect. What will be there? New defect again. Okay, there is a project. Let's say this project name is Cornerstone. What is this project? Cornerstone. Okay, so you're working for which company? Let's say for which project? ICICI net banking. ICICI will be doing only one project, or they will be doing multiple projects? Please tell me, guys. ICICI, the whole company, they will be doing only one project, or they might be doing multiple projects?
Multiple.
Multiple projects. So all these guys are working for a project called Cornerstone. What is it? Cornerstone. Who is the program manager? Let's say Deepika is the program manager. Okay, so for this project called Cornerstone, the main head is Deepika. Okay, so if somebody has to go and ask what is happening in Cornerstone project, the main head is Deepika. They will go ask Deepika, and all these people, test managers, dev managers, everybody will be reporting to this Deepika, who is the program manager. So first Syed will go to this bug tracking tool. He will have access to, in this bug tracking tool, all the projects will be there. Cornerstone project will be there, ASUS project will be there, Juice project will be there. Like this, there are n number of projects are there. All the projects will be there over here. But the person Syed will be given access to only corner store project because he's involved in corner store. All the 10 other projects will not even show to him. Are we clear, guys, so far? Why? Because for his username password, the admin for this Jira tool has given that Syed is only working for corner store. Why he should see what is happening in all the other 9 projects? So I'll give access to only this corner store project. So when Syed sees, he will be seeing all this, only the corner store project. Are we clear, guys, so far? Are we clear so far, everybody? Absolutely clear? Come on, guys. I need some energy. 1 is yes, 2 is no. Are you guys even listening or not? I don't know. Okay, please, guys, please. Okay, let's bring in some energy. Okay, so once this Syed has given access, who will give the access? Don't worry about all that. There is separate team which will give the access. But from Syed's point of view, once he log in, he will be only seeing the defects related to cornerstone. Okay, so there is a button called new defect. As soon as this new defect button is clicked, all these options will be given: defect ID, test case ID, defect description, all this there. So he has to simply fill all these defects, fill all these defects. So he has filled all these defects. So sorry, all this information for this defect called df001. So he has filled all that information, and now that defect information will be shown on this particular Jira tool. Okay, all this information will be shown on the defect tool. What is it? Test case ID, defect ID, description, steps to reproduce, submitter he need not have to give. The tool will automatically give because he has logged in with Syed's username password. And the status, he can only mark it as new. He will not be able to do anything else. Move it to open, he cannot do all that. Okay, so assigned to field, Syed will not even have the access to assign it to anybody, so he will not be able to do it. Date of submission he can give, and all this he will be able to give. Severity, priority, and all that, the tool will allow him to give all this information. Okay, all this information the tool will allow him, Syed, to give that, and all that information will be stored in this bug tracking tool. Okay, are we clear, guys, all of you? Are we clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like this, all this information will be stored in this bug tracking tool. What is there? The submitter, description, steps to reproduce, severity, priority, date of submission, all this information Syed has given. Now this bug is totally filled. Okay, but the tool will not allow him to assign to somebody, and the tool will allow him to only put the status to new. He will not be able to do anything after that. Now automatically the tool has the capability to create an email and send that email to all the people. The tool will automatically, as soon as Syed clicks on submit, enters all this information and clicks on submit, what will Syed do? He will click on new defect, and then it will allow you to enter all this data. Then there is a submit button somewhere here, and once he clicks on that submit button, that defect will be stored in this particular bug tracking tool called Jira, and automatically email will be sent to all these people. Email will be sent to all the testers saying that there is a new defect which is been raised by Syed. Okay, raised by Syed. All the people will get this email. Okay, are we clear, guys, all of you? Are we clear, all of you, so far? How the tool will take care of it?
Yes,
Because
sir.
whoever is
Yes,
been
sir.
assigned to this project called corner store, all the people will log in. Now what happens? Immediately the dev lead or the dev manager, generally the dev lead, will get an email. Immediately he will, with his own user credentials. Again, the dev lead, let's say the dev lead is Radhika. Okay, Radhika will have her own username and password. Okay, will have her own username and password. With her username password, she will log in. She will not have the username password of Syed. She will have her own username password. She will log in, and all that information will be shown to her. Okay, all this information will be shown to her. Now the tool will allow her to do one thing. First is, okay, she will have 3 options. The tool will allow her to either open it, okay, or she can hold it, or she can say as per design, okay, or 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 she can, sorry, okay,
Defer,
as per design, or she can say what, or she can say what? Come on,
defer.
reject.
She can defer.
Reject. Okay, she can do all of it. Let's say Radhika has changed the status to open, which means that she has accepted the defect. And once she has said open, she cannot fix it because she is the lead. She has 100 other works. So she has two people working for her. Okay, the two people is Tulsi and Mani. Let's not Mani, Tulsi and Ashfaq. Okay, Tulsi, Tulsi and Ashfaq. Tulsi and Ashfaq. Okay, Ashfaq. Okay, Ashfaq. Okay, so now she can assign to one of them. She thinks that okay, Ashfaq is actually worked on that particular piece of code, so she can assign it to Ashfaq. Ashfaq. Okay, Ashfaq. Then as soon as she make these changes, then again a email goes to all the people saying that the defect has been opened. Then Syed, the email also goes to Syed. Then Syed will feel little happy saying that, oh, my defect has been opened, which means that my defect doesn't have any issues. It's been accepted. And Syed also knows that, okay, it has been, there is a developer called Ashfaq and it has been assigned to Ashfaq. And a special email goes to Ashfaq saying that a defect is assigned to you, brother. Please go ahead and look at the defect and fix it. Then Ashfaq will log in with his own username and password. Then he will be able to see all this information. Then he will work on the defect, and after 1 day, 2 days, depending on the priority. Let's say this is a priority 2 defect. Priority 2 defect, he can take 2 days. He has taken 2 days and move the defect to fixed. As soon as it's moved to the fixed, and again one more email goes to all these people. Again one more email goes to all these people. All these people. Okay, all these people are there, na? The email will go. Now I'm saying that why this information is going to these managers, guys. Manager however will not raise the defect. Managers however will not move to any status. Managers will have nothing to do with these defects. Why the mails are going to test manager, dev manager, program manager and all that?
Everything will be
Because
image.
they should also know who is working and what is going on with the project.
Exactly. So priority to defect, Ashfaq needs to take 2 days. The manager, program manager, dev manager, test manager will be tracking that. When they don't get the email in 2 days, they will go look at the defects. Says it more taking more than 2 days. Then the test manager will escalate to dev manager or program manager, and immediately there will be more pressure on Ashfaq. So look at this. The tool is so magnificent. Okay, it takes care of so many things, and these managers, we need not even have to log in and look at it. The email will tell you what is happening. Okay, this is assigned to Ashfaq. Ashfaq has fixed it. All that will be there in the email. If they really want to go and look at it with their username passwords, they will log in and see what is happening. So as soon as he fix it, as soon as the defect is fixed, okay, as soon as the defect is fixed, okay, then immediately the mail go to Syed, because the mail is, the defect is raised by Syed saying that your defect has been fixed by Ashfaq, go ahead and retest it. And also email goes to another kind of email goes to all the people saying that the defect has been fixed. Then Syed need not have to every day log in and see, is this defect fixed, is this defect fixed, is this defect fixed. He need not have to log in every day to look at it. As soon as it's fixed, the email comes to him. Okay, and in corporate world, email is always open. Okay, emails is always open. Even if you look at me, in any given time of time, my emails are always open. I'll never close these emails. Okay, I'll always open and immediately I'll check the emails. Okay, any corporate person will be doing that. So they will be looking at it. And then now now only Ashfaq, one more thing, only Ashfaq can move this defect from, earlier it was open. Okay, open and Ashfaq is there. Only Ashfaq can move it to fixed. No other person. There are how many people who have access? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people are there. Out of 11 people, only Ashfaq can move this status to fixed. Nobody else. Maybe dev lead can give a special this thing saying that okay, Ashfaq is on leave. Okay, it is been assigned to Tulsi, so let me move to fixed. Maybe Radhika will have an access, but generally, ideally, only Ashfaq can move this change to fix, nobody else. And then Syed will retest it, and he can either reopen it or 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 he can say
Close
closed.
it.
Okay, he has only two options. If he wants to move it to some other option, the tool will not allow. He will have only two options, either closed or reopen. The tool will not allow you to do anything else in terms of this status. Okay, so let's say it is closed, then again an email goes to all of them saying that that particular defect is closed, so that people can keep track of it. This is how these defect tracking tools are helped, guys. So are you clear, guys, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you absolutely clear? Okay, so if possible, again, maybe in a week or so, I'll connect for teaching Jira. It might take 2 to 3 days to see how you can do the bug tracking using Jira, and also, store your test cases and everything in Jira. Okay, but again, I'm not promising, guys, but if possible, okay, because I haven't used Jira, I've used ALM long time back. I'll scale up, and if I'm able to do it, I'll try to take the class. Okay, but again,
Yes,
no,
at
I'm not
least
promising.
one class
Yeah.
is help for us for if you show how what Jira is what is more helpful
That's
for
what, guys.
us.
So I'll try, but when and where I don't know, because once I say the date, right, I'm putting myself under pressure. Today I have so much other work, but already I've delayed the class by one day. I was feeling bad, so I have to push myself to take this class. When I'll tell you. Okay, definitely I wanted to take that, because without that, all these classes is of no use to you. Okay, so I'll
Yes, sir.
definitely try to teach Jira. Okay, and so that you can install and you can do it yourself. Okay, now there are two ways of testing. One is manual testing, which I've already seen, which I've already shown, and automation testing. Somewhere I have already told how automation is useful, right? Okay, how automation is useful. Okay, so, and people are saying manual testing is dying. No, I don't agree with them. Manual testing will always be there, because first time when you do the testing, it's always manual testing. Second time, regression testing, this is when automation testing is useful, guys. Okay, automation testing is useful. Okay, so I think 2 weeks back I've told you what is regression testing. Okay, regression testing. Let's say you have written 100 test cases, guys. Let's say you have written 100 test cases. How regression testing happens, I'll tell you. There are two kinds of regression testings. Okay, so you're executing 100 test cases. Okay, there are 100 test cases, let's assume. Okay, this is my release one. Okay, this is my release one. Okay, this is my release one. How the regression testing happens, I'll tell you. Okay, in the release one itself, when you're executing this 100 test case, okay, there are some defects. 90th test case you are testing. Okay, there is a defect. Okay, expected results not equal to actual result. There is a defect. Now the defect is fixed. Okay, so what the tester will do is, okay, the 90th test case is retested. Okay, 90th test case needs to be retested. Okay, but not only that needs to be retested, but not only that, all the in and around features of the test case. Let's say there are five other test cases which are very close to that, and you are worried that because of this fix, those test cases may be affected. Earlier, these test cases, let's say those five test cases are 91st, okay, 89th, okay, 88th, and then 92nd, okay, and 97th test case. So these test cases are very close to this 90th test case, or very close to this 9. These five test cases are very close to this 90th test case, let's assume. Okay, this 90th test case has failed, defect is raised and fixed it, you have retested it, and this has passed. You are very, very happy. Not only that, these five test cases which are related and very closely related to this, you are worried that because of this fix, these might be disturbed. You have already tested it, they were passed. Okay, you were already tested it, they were passed. Okay, so but you need to retest it again, because we don't know if this fix has actually messed it up. Okay, if this fix have already messed it up. Okay, all these five test cases have already passed. Okay, all these five test cases have already passed. Okay, but you are worried that okay, so you're worried that okay, because of this fix, with the test cases which are already passed, might be of having an issue. So what you do, you take it upon yourself to retest them, or we will call it as regression testing. We'll call it as regression testing. Are we clear with this, guys? Are we clear with this?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is the use case one. Okay, use case one. Okay, let's say this, call it as a use case. Let's say this is the scenario one, or use case one, where the regression testing is done. Let's take another use case. Okay, use case two. Okay, now in the release one, okay, there are 100 test cases. Okay, everything is tested, release is closed and all that. The next week, release 2 has started. New code has been developed, and you have written 50 more test cases for the new release. Okay, 50 more test cases for the new release. So you started executing this 50 test cases, executing this 50 test cases. Okay, 50 test cases, and everything is happy. All the 50 test cases have been executed fine. There were no defects, and you're closing this release as well and say that no defects are there and all that. Okay, but you're worried that this is the piece of code for the release one. Okay, this is the piece of code for the release one. Okay, this is the piece of code for the release one. Okay, okay, this is the piece of code for the release one, for which you have written 100 test cases. This is the piece of code. Now the new piece of code that is added, okay, that is added to the original piece of code only. Okay, this is not completely different. Okay, the new piece of code which is added for the release 2, for which you have written 50 test cases, it is added to the original code which is there. Okay, so now you have tested this. Okay, this is tested in release 1, this is tested in release 2, but whatever is tested in release 2, these 50 test cases are tested in release 2, but these 100 test cases also needs to be tested, guys, in the release 2, because you have added this piece of code and you are worried that this piece of code might have messed something in release 1, maybe little bit
Yes,
here
sir.
and there, and you are worried. So you wanted to double check again, this extra piece of code that is added might have messed the already piece of code a little bit. Okay, you wanted to double check that, guys, or not? This is not completely
Yes,
different
sir.
piece of code. This is the piece of code which is already added to the existing one. So we need to test it again, right? So for the release 2, you are not only supposed to test these 50 test cases, but also these 100 test cases. Your work will become release 2, your work will become 150 test cases, guys. Okay, for 150 test cases. Okay, are we clear, guys? Now release
Yes,
3
sir.
has happened. Now release 3 has happened. Okay, more piece of code has added. You have written 75 test cases. Okay, 75 test cases. Now you tell me, you execute only 75 or 225? You execute only
225,
75,
sir.
or you execute only 125, or you execute 225? You wanted to execute 225
225, sir.
because you wanted to execute this 75, this 50, and this 100, 225. So as release after release, the work for the manual testers will become huge. Okay, so is it something like, if you automate this, wouldn't be useful, guys? Okay, when the release 2 has happened, when the release 1 has happened, all these test cases are manually written, and you can automate it, but these are not stable, because there will be defects raised and the code will be fixed and all that. So it's not advisable to automate. But when release 2 have started, all this functionality is more or less stable. So this 50 test cases, manual testing team will be working on it. Meanwhile, the automation guys can automate these test cases. Okay, we'll automate these test cases, which means that automate means what, guys? Automate means what? You will not be doing, or you will not be manually executing the test case. The tool will be executing the test case. Are we clear, guys? Automation means what? The tool will enter the username, the tool will enter the password, tool will click on the login button, and tool will check if the home page has displayed or not. That is what is automation. Understand, guys, all of you? Are we clear? Okay, so these 50 test cases manually you will be executing, but these 100 test cases will be automated by the automation team, and they will be they will click on one button, and one after one another, all these 100 test cases will be executed overnight, and next morning they will tell you this has passed, this has failed. Okay, and then similarly in the release 3, this 150 test cases would have been automated by the automation team, and manual testing team will be executing these 75 test cases manually, and this automation team will execute these 150 test cases by the automation tool, and again, that's how it happens. So now you understood the purpose of the automation tool, guys. Purpose of the automation tools.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful, guys. So this is how automation tool will be useful for regression testing. By the way, for release 2, you have executed these 50 test cases, right? You are executing these 100 test cases, that becomes regression testing. Okay, that becomes the regression testing. Here also it is called regression testing, wherein in and around test cases you are re-executing it. That is regression testing. And here also it's called regression testing, wherein the first 100 test cases which has already been tested in the release 1 is being tested in release 2. It's called regression testing. Anyways, now Now for automation, I'm telling you, the tool itself will do it, not the humans. So the tools, there are very, very popular tools. Okay, any automation tools that you are aware of, guys?
Selenium, Python, Selenium, Java.
Selenium.
Jmeter,
Okay, okay, Selenium. UFT.
Jmeter,
Jmeter is a performance testing tool, guys. Okay, Jmeter is a performance testing tool. Okay, okay, I'm an expert in Jmeter and I love to teach, but again, yeah, that is a different story altogether. Okay, UFT, RFT is there. Okay, like this, there are n number of tools are there in the market, guys. Lot of tools are there in the market, but Selenium is very, very popular. Selenium, you can either do, if you know Java, you can use Selenium with Java. If you know C sharp, okay, you can use Selenium with C sharp. Okay, you know JavaScript, okay, you can use Selenium with JavaScript. And if you know Python, you can use Selenium with Python. Okay, whichever programming language you are comfortable with, those programming language, you can use Selenium. But most of the people implement Selenium with Java because a lot of people know Java. Okay, so our institute also teaches Selenium with Java. Okay, but again, I'm not selling that. Somebody today messaged me saying that please explain something about what you are teaching. Okay, again, I don't want to put that in the class. If somebody is interested, then you can send it to me. I'll send you the page. Again, definitely I don't want it to market this. Okay, that you come buy this course from us. The purpose is not for that. Okay, Apache Jmeter is definitely a performance testing tool, which I'm not gonna which is little different. It is non-functional testing. Okay, like this, there are n number of tools are there, guys. So you can definitely use all those tools and get the automation done. Okay, so the TestNG, Cucumber, everything that you're talking about is a framework, Manideepika. Those using these tools and using those frameworks, you can do it. Again, what is that framework, why we need to implement, that is different. Okay, let's not get into that. Okay, so with that, we have completed the manual testing course, guys. I'm very, very, very happy that that I was able to spend the time with you, and I'm sure there are a lot of people watching the videos as well. Okay, every day there are 130, 300, 400 views are there on the YouTube. So definitely there are other people who are benefiting from the course as well, which I'm so happy. Okay, so again, this course was not done to pull you for the automation. This course was not done to spread the word across. This course was done because I was passionate about teaching, and I thought I'll add some value to the society, and give some knowledge to some people who are interested. Okay, and finding for quality trainings in the market, but were not able to do that. So that was my only intention, guys, and I hope you really got something from the class. Okay, somebody who's totally non-IT, even for them, I think they got something benefit from the class. Okay, on that note, I'm taking off, guys. I'm thank you for joining and putting up with me. And one more thing is, yes, Jira ALM is very hard to install. I don't think I'll be able to install ALM and showcase the ALM to you, but definitely Jira is something I heard is very easy to install. So I'll explore the tool and then create some test cases on that and then raise some defects on that. And whenever I'm comfortable, I'll put it on the same WhatsApp group so you can join and learn the Jira as well. Okay, so any questions, guys, before I take off? You can
So
unmute yourself
Durgesh,
and speak. Yeah, Durgesh, please tell me, brother.
I want to talk about Selenium. So I need to talk here or separately?
Separately, brother. So I don't want this to be a marketing
No
class or
problems.
something like that. Yeah.
No problems. Thank you.
Anybody else?